Hello beautiful people, it is Amanda here from Mystical Dragon, bringing you a moon magic video for our upcoming Aquarius New Moon here in 2023, our very first new moon for the year. Just really quickly, today in my video I'm just going to be covering when the new moon's going to be, some of the key energies for both the Aquarius moon and also the new moon itself as well. And of course some ideas for you on those magical and spiritual levels to be able to do with this beautiful energy as well. So first of all, we do have this new moon in Aquarius is going to be here in Australia. It is Sunday on January the 22nd, and it will be completely new at 7:55 a.m. for us with daylight savings time. The UTC will be for January the 21st, and that will be at 8:55 p.m. Now, if neither of these work for you to be able to work out when it will be where you are, do jump over to a website that is timeanddate.com, and you can actually put in where you are and it will tell you exactly what date and even what time the new moon will be for you where you are, wherever you are in the world. So do jump over and have a look. It's a really great website for all your astrology timings. Now, the Aquarius moon energy in particular is a beautiful energy to work with. I love this Aquarius energy. We have key focuses, key areas to look at, such as freedom, intuition, creative energies, creative focuses, being really artistic and creative and imaginative. It's a real problem-solving energy as well. It can help us with breaking bad habits. It can assist us with friendships and growing our friendships and keeping them healthy and happy and positive. It's also wonderful for connecting with the energy of universal love, for finding and being able to define ourselves as individuals, for learning new things, just for lots of really independent, individual, imaginative type focuses and type energy is what this Aquarius will really amplify and highlight for us. So beautiful energy to work with. Healing in particular, of course, we can do healing on any parts of us at new moons and full moons and really any time of the month. But the Aquarius energy particularly focuses on our calves, on our blood, on our ankles. So it'll really amplify any healing you want to do in those particular parts of your body. So if you're having any dramas with those, this could be a really good time to purposely set aside some time for healing there. Now, the new moon energy of itself is a really good new beginning. So it's kind of an easy one to remember, a new moon's focus. New moon, new beginning. It's a time to plant the seeds for hopes and dreams and wishes that we have for the future. So the idea is that at every new moon we can really start again if we want. Clean sheet, clean chapter, start the chapter again, start the book again, start again. So this is really the focus of new moon energy. So we can work with any of these key energies that I've just mentioned, either particularly Aquarius, or you might prefer to particularly focus on the new moon, hopes and dreams, new beginnings, new chapter energy. Totally up to you and what you're feeling called to. Now, I often talk about charging moon water at a full moon, but honestly, we can charge moon water at all different kinds of moon phases with different purposes. So at the new moon, you might like to charge some moon water, particularly if you're going to use it in potions or sprays or for drinking, charged with maybe some of those new beginning, new dreams, new manifestings, things that we're wanting to grow in our life. That's what that type of moon water is really good for using as a basis. So you can even charge it in the new moon energy, charge up that water that you have left overnight in the new moon energy, charge it up with your hopes and dreams and things that you're putting out to the universe, and just simply put it in a drinking bottle and drink it. it can be as simple as that. You don't need to get complicated with your moon water. But obviously, if you're going to drink it and consume it, make sure that you do have a lid on it when you've put it out to charge, and use something, a water that you're happy to be able to drink. So say use some bottled water that you've purchased, or some filtered water or something like that. Now, I've got a couple of suggested focuses, particularly for the Aquarius moon. I have mentioned lots of areas you could focus on for yourself and you might be being called to. But there's 3 in particular that I'm just going to kind of focus on here today. One of my very favorite focuses for an Aquarius moon is creative expression. And we can look at this in a variety of ways. It's not just about drawing and painting and singing and dancing and writing, baking, getting in the garden, maybe creating a fairy garden, or, doing things of that nature, doing crafty type things. It's not just doing those things, but it is also around maybe looking at your life or particular areas of your life with a more creative focus, as in trying to look at it from a different angle. So let's say that you are maybe having difficulties in a particular area of your life. Maybe you need to focus some creative problem solving thinking into that particular area of your life. Try and look at the problem from different angles to see, is there a different way that I can approach this? Is there a way that maybe I can reinvent myself in this, or that I can do things differently in a different way to help get a different outcome in that particular situation? So it might be that you're just being more creative in the way that you're approaching your home life, your work life, your school life, honestly, any area of your life. It might just need that bit of creativity and a bit more, like I say, a different angle to look at it and think about it. And so you might decide to help you in doing that, because that might sound simple. It might sound simple, or it might sound complicated to you, but to help you do that, we can actually call on some divinities. We can perhaps charge some crystals to assist us with this. We could even do a little spell to ask for some more of that kind of unique creative energy, some of that hanged man kind of energy, focusing on it from a different perspective, looking at it in a different way. So some of the divinities that you might consider thinking to work with, who I find have a bit more of, I guess, that creative energy that is with them, is like your goddess Bridget. She's beautiful. The goddess Danu is a lovely energy to call on. The goddess Anne, who's connected with the Fae, and definitely brings in a beautiful creative energy and can kind of tip things upside down a little bit for you. But sometimes in these situations, it's necessary for things to get a bit tipped upside down so that we can be aware of a new way, a new light to see these things in. And even Goddess Sarasvati is a beautiful energy to call on for that, creative. So even if we're just doing something creative and you want to call in an energy to assist with being creative, doing your sewing, baking, painting, whatever it is, or if you're wanting to look at things in a more creative, unique way, they're beautiful to call on. You may think of a different divinity or god or even archangel that you want to work with on that level instead, and that is totally up to you. This is just to kind of, start that spark of inspiration for you. Also, crystals, that would be really helpful. I would really focus on the colorway of orange in particular when it comes to creativity and kind of thinking outside the box. Citrine is one of my favorites, and it also boosts our self-confidence in how we're approaching things, being more confident in that approach. So I love citrine. Carnelian's beautiful. It's really nurturing as well. So if you feel like you need some nurturing of the soul, nurturing of the self through the process, then carnelian's beautiful for assisting with that also. Something like an orange calcite works really well too. An amber works beautifully as well with those creative energies. And even a mookaite, which is Australian jasper, has got the oranges and the yellows and the reds. Beautiful crystal, also has quite a soft, gentle energy with it, fairly nurturing energy with it as well. And even looking at that crystal, some of the colors and the patterns that come up, you know, can kind of inspire some creativity as well. So whichever crystal, if you choose to use a crystal, do make sure that you hold it for a few minutes, charge it and program it with your intent of what you're asking it to help you with, and you will find that your crystal will be able to help you even more effectively by having taken the time to ask it, please help me with this particular thing, rather than just picking it up and carrying it. And do make sure to cleanse them as well. When we're working with crystals, we do need to cleanse them every so often. Maybe a little bit of sage or some other cleansing incense, or if it's one you can put in water, running under some water every so often, or even just popping out overnight under the moon or on a cluster like an amethyst cluster is really helpful for that as well. So that's a few ideas on that creative side. You can also call in a creative muse for when you are doing some of your creative works, if you're wanting to set time aside for that. And especially if you're finding, I really want to be doing some of my creative stuff, but maybe there's some, you know, creative blocks, a writing block, something like that, then calling in a creative muse can be really helpful to kind of dissolve that block and help us to move forward. So it's really simple to call in a creative muse. You might like to make it a bit more official, and even with one of the creative divinities, you can do this same thing. An orange candle, something like an orange oil or a lemon oil, I find are really good for those creative energies, to get that creativity flowing. Anoint your candle with a little bit of the oil. And because we're wanting to ignite our creativity and really expand and bring that energy in, you want to really start at the top of your candle and anoint it going downwards in circular motion right down to the bottom of your candle. Thinking about that creative muse or that expansion of creativity, perhaps seeing yourself really engrossed in whatever creative thing it is that you're trying to do. And then when you light your candle, just speak from the heart, asking for, please, a creative muse to come and aid and assist me with this creative project, or Goddess Bridget to please come in and assist me so that I can perhaps see this problem or this area of my life in a different way and find some creative solutions to move around or through this particular blockage or area I'm feeling really stuck in. So it can be as simple as that. I personally always leave my candles to burn all the way out. So I love wish candles, which usually only burn for about 2 hours. And there you are, your spell is done. And sometimes that energy can come in really fast and you'll have inspiration really quickly. Sometimes you need to give it a little bit of time while the candle, let the candle burn down, give it some time, and then you'll suddenly find that perhaps things just start, that inspiration starts to hit you. So do allow a little bit of time. Don't think it's necessarily going to be instantaneous, although it will be in some circumstances. Now, this is also a beautiful time. I love to look at doing a road opener spell. The first new moon in the year has just been a time that I often feel called to do a road opener spell. And essentially a road opener spell is a spell that helps to dissolve and clear any blockages that perhaps are left over from the old year, and helps to clear the path ahead so that we can really move forward in really positive, powerful ways in our life. Now, honestly, you can do road opener spells at any time of the year, but for whatever reason, I find that I personally feel called to a road opener spell around the new moon, the first new moon of each new year. It's just often something I have felt called to for the last few years now. It may be something that resonates with you to do this year, and even maybe adopt as a tradition that you start doing. As I just find it's works so well with that new moon energy of being able to put our hopes and dreams out and actually be able to start growing things in our life, moving forward in our life in positive ways. So I do have my version of a road opener spell that I use myself is our Mystical Dragons Book of Shadows, which is on our website. It is completely free there at www.mysticaldragon.com.au. and the tab there is Book of Shadows, and you'll find 40 of my spells that I've written that are there, and the road opener spell is one of them. We also have that in a spell box where you get a beautiful scroll with your printed instructions of what to do, and you also have everything that you need to be able to do that spell is in the spell box. So it's up to you what kind of works best for you, but certainly that's where you'll find a road opener spell, or you might have already done a road opener spell before that you want to use. Essentially you only need a candle, a bowl of water, incense, a crystal, and I tend to have an image of the goddess that I'm working with. I work with Goddess or Set or Goddess Isis, and I've written an invocation and everything on the Book of Shadows there that I use for myself. So that is certainly an option to look at doing a road opening spell at the new moon. Lastly, I really feel called to jump on the focus of universal love. And I find that the Aquarian energy really connects so well with universal love. And I really feel that this is an energy that when we're really connected with it, it brings so much healing for ourselves and for those around us. It really helps to raise and uplift our vibration. It makes us feel really good and really positive. So it's such a beautiful focus to have. And a few years ago, I actually brought through a spell that specifically connects with universal love. It's kind of more just a little mini ritual that we can do for ourselves. And it only requires some fresh flowers, a candle, and an incense that you like the smell of. I tend to suggest like a florally one, because florally smells tend to connect with that loving energy more. So like a rose or a frangipani, or just make sure it's one that you like the smell of. So it's very simple, and we're essentially connecting in with love and beauty and love. So you start by looking at your flowers and taking in the beauty of the flowers that you've chosen and how beautiful they are, and how wonderful is it that nature can create this all of its own. You know, it doesn't need any specific instructions, or it just creates this beautiful creation, and every flower is so unique and beautiful, and just sitting and taking in and being in awe of this creation in front of you. And then once you've done that for a few minutes and you feel ready, you light your candle, and then essentially this is like we're going to light the spark of love within ourselves, or represent the spark of love within ourselves through lighting the candle. And then you can close your eyes and just start to generate some of that loving energy. And so you might start thinking about some of the people in your life that you love, your animals, things that you love to do, you know, just thinking about things that reconnect us with that loving energy, and helping that to really expand and start kind of flowing through our whole body, really feeling that loving energy, being aware of loving energy, and allowing that to just flow through the whole of us. And really sitting with that for a good few minutes if you can, before you light your incense, and then allowing the scent of the incense to kind of be connected with you, flowing all around and through you. And then once again, closing your eyes back in that space of loving energy, but now allowing it to start to overflow out of you. And if you could share this loving energy with others for its healing power, for its amazing energy, you know, where would you send it? Where would it go? Allowing it to overflow out into other people, other things, other places. Remembering that loving energy also brings peace and calm, and it removes so much negativity on so many levels, and anxiety and all of those sorts of things. So I really find it's a potent little mini ritual, and I encourage you to maybe have a go at doing it at this new moon. I do have it outlined on Mystical Dragon's Book of Shadows. It's a spell for universal love. I also did another video where I talk all about it and go into it further from a couple of years ago, so you'll find that also on our YouTube channel, and you might want to go over and have a look at that one and have a listen before you jump into it. So I would certainly suggest that that would be a really nice one to do at this particular new moon as well. So they're my three main focuses for this particular upcoming new moon, our new moon in Aquarius. I hope that has helped to inspire you to get your own, juices flowing for creativity, for what magical workings and beautiful things that you could be doing around this time. I truly wish you a beautiful new moon ahead. I hope it's really wonderful, powerful and positive for you. And I certainly look forward to seeing you again soon. Thanks guys, blessed be.